September 17th, 1944. A single column of American soldiers marching through Belgium. 300 men, one narrow road, and waiting in the trees, an entire German battalion. The ambush was perfect. The Americans had no idea. But one soldier made a mistake. A mistake so small, so insignificant, that it should have changed nothing. Instead, it saved them all. The war in Europe was entering its final year. Allied forces were pushing east, but the Germans were not beaten yet. They were desperate, cornered, dangerous. On this morning, the 28th Infantry Division was moving through the Ardennes forest, the same forest that would soon become the site of the Battle of the Bulge. Their orders were simple: cross through the valley, secure the next town, keep moving. The men were tired. They'd been marching for days. The fog was thick. Visibility was poor. They stayed in formation, a long, vulnerable line snaking through the trees. No one spoke much, just the sound of boots on wet leaves, the creak of equipment, the occasional cough. They had no reason to suspect what was waiting ahead. 2 days earlier, a German commander had received intelligence. American forces would be passing through this exact road. He saw an opportunity. He positioned his men along both sides of the valley. Machine gun nests hidden in dense brush. Mortars positioned on the ridge. Riflemen dug into foxholes covered with branches and leaves. Over 400 German soldiers. Silent, patient, invisible. The plan was textbook. Wait until the entire column entered the kill zone. Then open fire from all sides at once. No escape. No cover. Total devastation. The ambush site was chosen carefully. A natural choke point, steep hills on both sides, dense trees that would block any retreat. The Americans would be funneled into a narrow corridor, trapped like animals. The Germans had done this before. They knew how it would unfold. And so they waited. The Americans were less than a mile away now. Officers walked alongside the column, maps folded in their pockets. No sense of alarm. One lieutenant, a man named Harris, noticed the silence. No birds, no movement in the brush. Just stillness. He mentioned it to a sergeant. The sergeant nodded. But neither man stopped the column. They kept moving forward. Closer, closer. The lead squad entered the kill zone. 50 men. Then 100. Then 200. The German commander raised his hand. Fingers tense, waiting for the perfect moment. Just a few more seconds. And then, a sound. Not loud, not obvious, just a single metallic clink. One German soldier, hidden in a tree, had shifted his position. His helmet, loosely strapped, slipped. It dropped, bounced off a branch, hit the ground with a dull thud. The soldier froze. His comrades froze. The commander's hand stayed raised. At the front of the column, a young private heard it. He didn't know what it was, but he knew it didn't belong. He whispered to the man next to him. That man turned, looked into the trees. Nothing, just shadows. But something felt wrong. Lieutenant Harris, 20 yards back, saw the private stop. He called a halt. The column stopped moving. For 5 long seconds. No one moved. And then Harris saw it. A reflection, sunlight catching the barrel of a machine gun. His blood went cold. He opened his mouth and screamed, "Ambush! Get down!" The forest erupted. Bullets tore through the trees. But the Americans were already moving. They scattered into the woods, scrambling for cover. Some returned fire. Others ran. The German ambush, perfectly planned, was falling apart. The element of surprise was gone. The Americans weren't trapped in the open. They were spread out, moving, fighting back. The German commander screamed for his men to pursue. But the Americans had already broken formation. They flanked the German positions, used the same dense forest to their advantage. The firefight lasted 20 minutes. Brutal, chaotic, deadly. But when it was over, the Americans had escaped the kill zone. Casualties were light. 15 wounded. 3 dead. The Germans retreated deeper into the forest. Their perfect ambush ruined. Later that day, Lieutenant Harris walked back through the site. He found the helmet, lying in the leaves, dented, forgotten. He didn't know whose it was. He never would. War is decided by 1,000 tiny moments. A single mistake. A misplaced step. A helmet that falls at exactly the wrong time. 300 men owed their lives to a soldier who would never know. To a sound that should have meant nothing, but meant everything. Because in war, there are no small mistakes, only the ones that save you, and the ones that don't.